What's up, y'all? We are back for episode 13, I want to say, of Baddies West. Yes, episode 13. This episode was a little bit better than I anticipated. I thought we was going to have a similar episode as we've had the last 2 weeks, where I didn't have much to talk about, but this episode was very ghetto. But we're going to get into it. Thumbs up the video, drop some comments down below, subscribe if you have not already, share the video, and you know what to do. Let's go ahead and get into it. All right, so the first scene we get back, and it's basically the ending of Tommie giving up because she realizes that security ain't gonna let her get to Natalie. She pissed off about it, so she takes herself down them stairs and starts threatening the producers, starts threatening the security, trying to fight them. That was funny because I don't think I've ever seen somebody. Well, I was gonna say I don't think I've seen it, but Megan did it too on one of them seasons of Bad Girls Club where she fought the security. But it was just funny watching her do it. But she got so, like, Tommie, her whole situation, and the reason why she was mad, I see it because if I leave the house and my stuff was not where I left it and you got it at the front door, I'm gonna be pissed off too. So I see why she was mad, but she ended up leaving, getting on the bus and going. So the next scene we get Natalie coming into the living room in this outlandish ass outfit. I don't know what she had on, but the back shot they had of her walking in there, they could have done without that, because that was not something that Natalie should want to see on TV. But she got in the room having a meeting again. So the girls come down there. Everybody looked decent. I ain't gonna say decent. Everybody looked good. I feel like everybody looked good in that scene, or at least in the episode today. But she got down with them, telling her how she felt it was important for them to end the tour in her city, in Stunna City. That's where they started the Baddies auditions. That's where pretty much it all kicked off for Baddies West. So she felt like it's fitting to end the show and end the tour there. Well, I shouldn't say the show because we're going to find out that we're not ending it here. But they did that. So then they ended up talking about how she was excited that they were there, just thanking them for being there and whatever. Everybody was low-key excited about it except for, well, I ain't going to say at this moment she wasn't, but everybody was excited about that part, so whatever. She then tells them that Krishan is coming back for the night to perform. Natalie says she's going to perform first and then probably end up leaving. Natalie's at the point now where she's like, it is what it is. It's what Krishan's going to do. If she's going to come and perform, she's going to come and perform. If she's going to leave, she's going to leave. There's nothing else I can do about it. She signed up to be here. She's being promoted to be there, and she's actually coming. So it's like, do you fight her about not staying, or do you fight her because she's coming? And she is coming. So it's like, whatever, give up. So Natalie's like, whatever, it's gonna be what it's gonna be. I found it interesting too. Sky said that she had not heard from Krishan. That's supposed to be your best friend. And if anything, you should be talking to Krishan the most out of anybody. Me in general, that's what I would think. But she said that, and then she said it's gonna be cool whenever she's there, whatever, when she performs, whatever. So they were talking about how they were getting to the bag. They did get to the bag, but it was not a big bag. It was a very little bag. But they were saying nobody can talk shit about them not getting to the bag. They can't talk shit about you not getting to the bag because you did get some money, but it was not a lot of money. Like $2,000 per girl is not a lot of money. You could have stayed at home for that. But yeah, so they started talking about that. So then we get to the part where this is the interesting part. Natalie then starts talking about how Tommie was mad about the whole shady shit with her shit being outside, or not outside, but like close to the front door, basically outside, while everybody else's stuff is upstairs in their rooms and whatever. So she says she hopes Tommie fulfills her duty and comes to the club tonight to perform and whatever, and wants her to do it because it's in her city, it's in Stunna City. Like, they feel, obviously they want everybody to show up and have a good time in their city. So Biggie starts popping in, talking her shit about Stunna in her confessionals. Biggie's talking about how nobody's scared because apparently I don't know, Biggie might have gotten the impression that Stunna or somebody might have been making it seem like Tommie wouldn't come because she's scared because she's in Stunna City. I don't think Tommie is scared of anything, especially in terms of Stunna. I do think she's wary about what could possibly happen, obviously, because you in somebody else's city that you've been beefing with the whole time. So obviously she's gonna be on guard, and she's probably gonna want to prepare herself for anything that could possibly happen. And they in the Bay, and as we know later on, you got to prepare for some shit when you out there. But Natalie then asked Stunna if she would be okay if Tommie pulls up, and Stunna's like, yeah, like we've been on this tour the whole time. Like I stay in my lane. Like the only time I have an issue is when somebody brings it to me, and that's the truth. Like that's the type of energy that Stunna's been on this entire season. Y'all that don't like her, y'all will find ways to excuse it. But the truth is the truth. Stunna don't start nothing with nobody unless it's brought to her, and then she ends up giving it back to him. It's just what it is. Like y'all can say what y'all want to say about her, not like her prior to the show, but what's on the show is what's on the show. And the way she acts on the show, she don't just bring drama to nobody. They bring it to her and then she gives it back to him because she ain't no punk. Win or lose, she's not a punk. But she ended up saying that too. And then Biggie starts piping in, just kind of like defending Tommie for what reason? It's like, for what reason? Because Tommie don't even need defending. And the whole situation was not even about that. Like, it was like, what is the point in you defending Tommie? And Stunna clocked it. Everybody else started to clock that she was literally being Tommie's mouthpiece, basically. And it's gonna be funny too later on because it completely flipped on her. But Razor brought up a valid point talking about why is Biggie always addressing Stunna. Like she said, like Razor said, her and Stunna had beef. It is what it is. She don't talk about her. She don't address her. And that's just the way it is. Like, if I don't like somebody, I'm not going to talk about you. I'm going to try my best not to acknowledge you, let alone be sitting here arguing with you every time you open your mouth. Like, that's what Biggie does. And her fans going to sit in here. I know a lot of them going to get my comments talking about some, well, she did this and she did that. No, it's not about what Stunna did in the past. Stunna is sitting there minding her business, not saying anything to Biggie. And Biggie's still like on this hype energy about it. It's like you can not like somebody and just act like they don't exist. That's the problem with Biggie. She don't do that though. She has to address anytime Stunna is being talked about, anytime Stunna can't even look at her. She can't breathe, she can't do nothing, and it's always an issue. But like Razor said, like she ain't even said nothing to you. So why are you still mad about it? And then everybody's, like I said, everybody's gradually getting sick of her. Cat called it out. And then it got to the point where Rolly got in Biggie's behind and told her everything about herself that she needed to hear. Rolly is tired of it. She said she's so worried about Stunna all the time. Rolly said as soon as somebody says something about Tommie, Biggie is the first one to jump on it. She's the only one to jump on it. And Rolly's like, why are you doing that? Because y'all are not even friends. Like, y'all have literally filmed the show for essentially, what, a month, I think? Maybe 3 weeks. Granted, some of these people can be friends with you, can be friendly, but 3 weeks around somebody, I'm not going to call you my friend either, because I'm the type of person, when I first meet people, I give them a 2-week trial period. Typically, I don't call everybody my friend either. Just because we're cordial and we get along while we are supposed to be filming a show together does not make us friends. If I don't call you outside of this, you're not my friend. But if I'm calling you and we're still in constant communication, yeah, we probably are friends. But it's funny because it's gonna catch up to her later on. But Rolly was saying that too, and she's saying, like, why are you speaking on it? Biggie was saying that they're friends because of this experience. They've been spending together for 2 weeks. She chose her side. I'm like, you really sound stupid to me at this point. But Rolly said what I said, and her fans did not want to hear it. I think I said it. Movie Base said it. I think Legend might have said it earlier too. But she's doing all of this stuff to impress Tommie. Rolly even said it. She said it to her face that you are doing all of this to impress Tommie. And it's like, why are you doing that? Because Tommie wouldn't do it for you. And we all know she wouldn't do it for you. And Razor, it's funny because Razor's on her phone while they are just going at it. She's just sitting in the back, just scrolling through her phone like she over it. But Natalie was saying, like, telling Biggie to like hype Stunna up in her city and whatever. Because when Rolly was going in on Biggie, Stunna had left already. She in a whole other room. And she's like over it. Like, but Rolly then said too that she wants to see if Biggie, the way Biggie's sitting here, like going to bat for her in these meetings, anytime they have any kind of mention about Tommie when she ain't there. Rolly said, how you going so hard for her here? If something pop off and Stunna's people come up here and jump Tommie, I want to see you get up and really do something and see if you really about what you really propping at you about. Like, if you really about it, get up and do something. Because essentially, we all know, truth be told, I don't think she really with it like that. Like, she hit Stunna in that one little tussle that they had. But I don't feel like she's really about it because she's had all this energy towards Stunna, but she only ran up on her once. And she did it whenever somebody else was fixing her mic. Like I didn't like, yeah, it's a whole bunch of that I just. But it gets to the point where Natalie was still telling her, like, hype her up, like you in her city, like show me you're a real boss bitch and get out here, get your money. And you know you have to be around her. So do what you're supposed to do and get out here and do it. And she's like, no, I'm not even gonna come. And then Natalie's like, that's why they saying you press. And I'm like, yeah, because like if you really this boss that you claim you are, you ain't gonna let nothing stop you from getting a bag. Because if she doesn't go to the club, you're not getting a bag. And I wouldn't let them split that money with her. Like when y'all get y'all's little $2,000 cut, she wouldn't get any of it. Because if you stay in the home, you don't get to get paid. So they get to the point where they get to the next scene. So the next scene, they're on the bus. They all get on the bus. This is the first time Stunna is back there with the girls cohesively. And Biggie's in the front by herself. And she says that she's in the front because she wants to have Stunna in the back in her city to allow her to actually get time with the girls, because she's never been the one that was back there with the girls. She's always on another bus or on another car or in the front by herself, which was condescending. She wasn't meaning that. But Stunna was zoning out because Rolly was talking about how, like, whenever they get their money from this show or from this appearance, they should put their money together and give it back to the community, like give it back to the kids that are in the homeless, the women that are in the homeless, the women that are being trafficked and whatever. That would have been a nice thing to do. Don't know if they're gonna do it, but we'll see. But Biggie is in the front and she gets on the phone with Tommie. This is the funniest scene of the episode and probably the funniest scene to me this entire season. She gets on the phone and starts basically whining to Tommie about how they literally was jumping on her for being friends with Tommie. Lo and behold, Tommie gets in her confessional. It was saying, because Biggie said that they said that she's not your friend, like talking about Tommie not being Biggie's friend. And Tommie said, believe him, bitch. Believe everything they say, because I'm not your friend. Get the fuck off of my phone. And then she ended up hanging up on Biggie while Biggie was sitting there still trying to tell her, like, well, they said this about me being at it. Tommie is tired of it. And it just literally proved their point. Like they were sitting there saying, Tommie would not do this for you, and she's not your friend. And she just flat out showed her that I'm not your friend. She hung up on her because she was tired of hearing it. And she said she wasn't coming, but she ended up coming anyway. But that part was so funny. That part was so funny to me. When we get to the next scene, they ended up arriving to this ghetto ass club. This club was ghetto, ratchet. So they ended up getting there. There's fans outside. The club is packed. Tommie's already in the club. Krishan is already in the club with Blueface. Natalie said that Tommie was in there throwing shade on the mic, but keeping her distance. But Tommie said that she was there to do her job. Like she's there to get her money, AKA she's on the type of time that Biggie was supposed to be on. Like she's the type that's not gonna let something stop her from getting her money, regardless if it's some beat. If she gonna get her money, if something happens, she gonna get her money before something happens. That's the way Tommie is presenting herself, and I feel like she's that way. But long story short, Scotty gets in there, and Scotty's saying like her guard is up, especially because the energy that she had at the auditions with them girls like sneaking up on her, but Scotty was giving them that energy anyway. So you was giving them that energy that you was about whatever. So if they gonna sneak you, they gonna sneak you. You better be ready for it. So she's like, at this point, I gotta be ready for it. So Krishan is in there, like I said. Stunna's got her friends in there, and it's funny because Lo was like trying to pull Stunna forward with her to get on the stage because it was so packed. And there were so many different people that she hadn't seen, but one of the girls was one of Stunna's girls, and she was trying to get that girl away from her. And Stunna was like, no, this is my girl. And she's like, well, she still need to move because she ain't with us. But Stunna had her friends there. Tommie had her crew up there too. And well, Stunna didn't have her friends up on the stage with her, but Tommie had her friends on the stage with her. And Stunna was pissed off about it because they wouldn't let her people up there. Rightfully so. I'd be mad too, especially considering the fact that they got beef. And Tommie got her crew up there, and you never know what could happen. Foreshadowing. You never know what could happen. And then Stunna sitting up there by herself, not really, she don't really have her people up there with her just in case something happened on that stage or whatever. But we get to, where am I at? Okay. So Krishan said that we get to Krishan. Krishan was sitting there talking and saying that she was not trying to come back to the show. Like she did not want to come back at all, but she was going to come back and perform for her fans. So she did that, but she was not trying to mingle with them girls. And Natalie was noticing it. She wasn't happy about it, but she was not trying to show it. That's the thing about Natalie. She'll keep it professional. If it's time to keep it professional in front of an audience, she will do that, regardless of how she's feeling. If she was up there singing Krishan's song or whatever. But Stunna said she's still saying that she ain't feeling the way they was doing her friends. She gets on the mic. Razor was noticing people in the crowd. She's noticing some of the girls who was at the audition. She said some of the people there was like excited to see them. Some of the girls was like, why is she up there? Like, why is it not me? Like she felt the saltiness coming from some of the girls that did not get picked. So they ended up taking turns hyping up the crowd and whatever, because apparently Sky was fucking up her set yet again. And Razor got her all the way together in that comment, in that confessional, talking about how she always fucking up her set. She said she might as well get out here and twerk her fake ass too. And Razor would know. But it was funny. The whole scene was funny to me. But then as this is happening, fights are breaking out just everywhere. Just everywhere from every corner in that club. So while the fights are happening, Stunna is noticing that Tommie's people are starting to surround her. So she's like, nah, fuck this. I'm about to get up out of here. So she ends up leaving and going outside. Krishan gets on the mic. She's starting to perform, and she said that she already felt the vibe was off. And she told like one of her people with her that she Loki didn't want to come because she just had it. The energy was off. And I know what that feels like because I'm the type of person that literally, like, I move off of energy. I can tell when something's not right too. And typically when I can tell something's not right, I'm not going anywhere near it. So I feel where she was coming from with that. But she gets on the mic and starts to perform, and a fan throws a shoe at her, and I think it hit Blueface. And you could tell Krishan was trying to like perform through it, but she was irritated. You could tell she was irritated, like, who threw this shoe at me? But she ended up trying to, and she finished the performance, but this part irritated me because they kept panning the Stunna outside, but did not have like any context at all. Like they was doing it in between Krishan performing. Editing, Zeus, get it together. But they ended up doing that. Krishan ended up finishing her performance. And the minute she finished that performance, she got right to it. Who the fuck threw this shoe up here? She kept asking and would not stop until she got an answer. But she didn't get an answer. So she got mad and threw the mic in the crowd. Full-fledged, like Brett Favre, bop, threw that thing in there. So whoever got, somebody, if they got hit, you gonna feel that. And you gonna have a nice little low knot on your head. But she was mad, rightfully so. I'd be pissed off too. But they finished that, and they still ended up fighting. There was more fights continuing to happen. They said there was gas out there. I guess somebody was like bear macing out there, smoke everywhere, people coughing and stuff. So they all trying to get everybody out of the club. And apparently the baddies are trying to go up the back, like up the DJ booth. And apparently there was nothing up there. So they ended up trying to run to an exit door, trying to get out. Everybody's scared, thinking that they literally about to die in there. Stunna's outside, and as Stunna's outside, she sees Tommie being carried off by the same dude that was up there, like me mugging her. The minute that happens, when she sees, just commotion happens out of nowhere, and they start jumping Stunna. And that pissed me off because I don't like that. I can't stand watching people get jumped. I don't care what happens. I can't stand it. I think that's the most punk type shit in the world. And Tommie, if you set that up, that's some punk shit because Stunna didn't even jump. I don't think, I'm sitting here thinking about it. Stunna did not jump Tommie or get Tommie jumped the entire time they've known each other. So what is the point in you setting people or bringing people to jump her, especially if she didn't have her people trying to jump you? It'd be one thing. I see why she has her people there, because granted, Stunna got her people there too. So if they was trying to fight and wanted to have like crew versus crew, do what you got to do, but they didn't do that. You didn't give her a chance to do that. I feel like Tommie is the type that wants to fight everybody. So she should be the type to be like, look, I don't like you, and I know you don't like me. So at this point, let's just go ahead and have a Royal Rumble. Like, you get your crew. I see your crew's right here. I got my crew right here, and let's just duke it out. But she didn't do that. So they ended up jumping her, and Tommie ended up going back inside. And while Stunna was getting pulled away, and she was getting pulled away, I don't want to see nobody in the comments trying to say some bullshit excuses. She was getting pulled away, and she was literally getting hit from every angle. Pulled everywhere, hair getting pulled everywhere. And then Tommie comes out of nowhere and starts getting her licks off. Tommie was getting her licks in. Them punches looked very weak to me, if you want to ask me. She was getting there, but they was not like, Tommie was swinging like she was swinging in that fight with Natalie in the ring, like windmilling. And I don't like seeing. It's like, Tommie, you should be able to fight better than that. But that's what we got going into next week. That's the ending of that. And then apparently they go to St. Croix, and it looks like it was only 4 of them: Natalie, Scotty, Lo, and Rolly. They could have kept that because it didn't look like much was happening. And if that is what's going to be at the end of the next episode, I probably will have a 5-minute review next week, but this was a good one this week. This one, yeah, I feel like this was probably one of the better episodes because it was a lot to talk about. So that's all I got for y'all today. Thumbs up the video, drop the comments down below, subscribe, follow me on my socials. You know what to do. I'm about to watch these playoff games, and I will see y'all next week. Peace.